Hi everyone. For this presentation, I have chosen to adopt Savannah State University and Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College, referred to as ABAC. Throughout this presentation, I will be discussing a plethora of categories to convey similarities and differences between the institutions. The reason for this is because, according to Bestedo, understanding the various classifications and types of institutions allows students to gain better insight into the kinds of colleges that they choose, as well as the where, how, and under what conditions that they attend. The first category is institution type and location. When students and families consider prospective institutions, the type of institution and where it is located can play a role in the decision-making process. The type can be defined as the basic categories of institutions, such as public college or university, private college or university, technical school, and community college. Note that even though people like to interchange the terms technical school and community college, they are different. A technical school offers programs geared towards vocational trades and careers, while community college focuses on general education programs. The location of an institution is often described with respect to the community that surrounds it. Examples include rural, suburban, and urban areas. Even colleges that are offering online programs can have a physical home base. Again, why are these important? Bestedo explains how knowing this information is useful for students and allows them to choose institutions that they feel will offer them the most resources and opportunities available to them. For example, if you are interested in a career in cosmetology, your focus will be geared towards institutions that are technical schools. Although a few community colleges do offer the program, it is more commonly found at technical schools. Looking at Savannah State and ABAC, Savannah is a public, historically black college and university located in Savannah, Georgia. ABAC is a public college located in Tifton, Georgia. What they do have in common is that they are both public institutions and they're also both nonprofit. Up next, we're going to discuss institution size and demographics. I like to refer to the Carnegie classification system because it serves to be a useful tool for research when students are trying to narrow down their college choices. It categorizes schools together based on data submitted by institutions, and it helps students decide early on if they want to be in a smaller or a larger learning environment. It also informs students of the highest level of programs that an institution offers, such as associate, bachelor's, master's, or doctorate degrees. Shifting to demographics, this refers to the makeup of the campus community and includes data about race, age, sex, and income. Income is usually important for financial aid in their reports. Bestedo does shed light on the importance of the role that diversity plays in higher education. In fact, being exposed to diversity in all forms can cultivate student cohorts that are more tolerant of differences and better prepared for the global workforce. Looking at enrollment size, according to the University System of Georgia, or USG, Savannah State institution size is estimated at around 3,100 students, while ABAC is estimated to have about 3,900 students. Regarding race, Savannah's demographic has a higher percentage of African American students, while ABAC has a higher percentage of white students. What they do have in common is that they are both considered small institutions as they both have less than 5,000 students that enroll each year. Moving on to institution mission, purpose, and vision, Bestedo notes in their third edition of the text the importance of institutions having clearly articulated mission and vision statements. This aids students in seeing how certain institutions may align with their own values, beliefs, and goals. Students who consider these statements as a criterion for choosing an institution want to feel that they can identify with and connect with that institution. Not only does this ensure that the student cultivates a successful experience, but this benefits institutions as well with their enrollment and retention rates. A mission statement is typically a general statement that explains what an institution values and the work that the campus community is already doing. Although mission statements tend to be general, the language of the statement still needs to be taken into consideration. This is where the following approach, known as the money follows mission approach, can be beneficial. On occasion, institutions can receive generous endowments and grants by sponsors and donors who believe that the institution's mission statement aligns with their personal values and goals. In contrast, the vision statement is designed to show the goals that institutions are striving to achieve. Vision statements tend to sound very optimistic and promising. However, what could be a downside to that is if institutions do not have the resources and capacity to do what it takes to turn their vision into a reality. That is one reason why committees are assembled to revise the mission and vision statements, and it makes sense that these statements have to be approved by governing boards. Taking a quick glance at the mission statements for each institution, Savannah's mission statement is to advance the scholarship, teaching, and practice of creativity and entrepreneurship. In contrast, ABAC's mission serves to provide excellent education by engaging, teaching, coaching, mentoring, and providing relevant experiences that prepare the graduate for life. What I found interesting is the slight contrast in the focus of their missions as well as their vision. I did not list the visions here on the slide, but essentially Savannah's goal is to be recognized as a center of national excellence for aspiring entrepreneurs. They want to be one of the first institutions that come to mind when you consider pursuing entrepreneurship. In contrast, ABAC wants to foster communities of learners that can take the skills that they cultivate at ABAC and be of use to their local communities. It is interesting to me because if you are familiar with the history of higher education, then you will know the importance of what it means for a historically black college or university to foster a community of future business leaders. From a minority perspective, one generational curse that the younger generations strive to break is the lack of generational wealth and success in their communities. As the younger generations become smarter and equipped with the leadership skills that their parents and grandparents may have faced barriers to access, they are able to break through glass ceilings and create their own success, and that speaks to the power and hope for the minority demographic. In addition, if you know the history of higher education, then you would know that the vision of ABAC also has a charm of hope for students, as it makes them feel more connected to the campus. If they believe that the skills they are learning now can be used back at home to progress their own communities, then it makes it all worth it. Bastedo also discusses the importance of this when breaking down American higher education into 10 generations. The main goal of institutions was to foster a community of students who would take their skills and fill the roles that society would need to be filled during those times. Another common thing between the mission statements is that both institutions work to provide quality education that fosters pride, success, and communities of lifelong learners. Shifting to institution history, Bastedo emphasizes the importance of history for institutions because it helps to understand how that history has shaped and prioritized institutional structures such as the mission and vision statement. The history of both institutions was interesting. According to Savannah's site, the institution was established in 1890 as a direct result of the Second Morrill Land Grant Act. Under this act, the southern states and those that bordered them were mandated to develop land-grant colleges for black citizens. After legislation was passed, the institution was titled the Georgia State Industrial College for Colored Use. This made Savannah the first public HBCU in Georgia and also the first institution of higher learning in the city of Savannah. A preliminary session of the Georgia State Industrial College was held in Baxter Street School Building in Athens, Georgia, before moving to Savannah in October of 1891. Also in 1891, Richard Wright Sr. was appointed to be the first president of Savannah State, which opened with 5 faculty members and 8 students. A quick fun fact is that in 1898, the college was awarded its first degree to his son, Richard Wright Jr. In 1921, female students were allowed admittance into the institution, and in 1928, the college became a 4-year degree-granting institution. Under the creation of the University System of Georgia, the college became one of the first members of the system, and its name was changed to Georgia State College. Its name changed again in 1950 to Savannah State College, and the institution received initial accreditation for the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools in 1955. The University System of Georgia elevated the college to university status in 1996 and renamed the institution Savannah State University. There is much more to say about this institution as they experienced a lot of "we were the first to" moments. But now I will shift to the history of ABAC. What is interesting about ABAC is that it was established by a Georgia legislator in 1906. but the first students did not attend until 1908, so their founding year is officially 1908. You're probably wondering why students did not enroll right away. From my research into the first 10 pages out of 300 pages of ABAC's history, I learned that legislation was still trying to decide on the location for the second agricultural and mechanical institution. The first A&M was already stationed in Statesboro, and this was soon evolved to become a series of names before being finalized as Georgia Southern University. Going back to ABAC, the legislation was looking for a potential site to build the second A&M and were allowing representatives from interested counties to come and place a bid for a chance to have that institution to be built in their community. Each representative presented their plans and bids, and one person that stood out above the rest was Captain Henry Harding Tift. He possessed enough charm, popularity, and financial prowess to win over the legislation, and they agreed to have the second A&M institution be built in Tifton. The name was changed twice in the 1920s to South Georgia A&M College in 1925 and to Georgia State College for Men in 1929. When the University System of Georgia was formed in 1932, the college assumed two-year status and received its present name in recognition of its emphasis on agriculture and home economics. Although ABAC was established by Georgia legislator, Tift played an important role in getting the second A&M institution where it is today. There is also a hall on ABAC campus dedicated to his honor and is titled Tift Hall. And another similarity between the two institutions is that both provided marginalized groups with greater opportunities for access into higher education, and both are SAC-SOS accredited. Moving on to curriculum and degrees offered, this slide is self-explanatory, and we are basically touching on the kinds of degrees and programs that each institution offers. Aside from campus life, the availability of programs are another deciding factor for students when choosing a college. Savannah State offers a range of undergraduate and graduate programs across 4 colleges: business administration, liberal arts and social sciences, sciences and technology, and education. One thing that I noticed that makes Savannah unique is that you are able to minor in Homeland Security and Emergency Management, and this is not a program that I see listed often. I also noticed that they match recommended certificates and minors with the respective colleges. So if you are a business management major, you might be inclined to want a certificate in entrepreneurship or marketing versus a minor in marine science. Although you could do whatever you want, I think that it is pretty cool to see what certificates and minors best align with the program that students are receiving a bachelor's in. Shifting to ABAC, they also have their degrees organized into 4 different colleges, which are School of Agricultural and Natural Sciences, School of Arts and Sciences, and Stafford School of Business. I also noticed how they offer many opportunities for those interested in the agriculture and arts and science fields. Like Bastetto points out, every institution has a reason for offering programs that it offers, so that these institutions are serving to meet the needs of what their community needs. Shifting to student services, Bastetto discusses how crucial it can be for institutions to provide a range of services for students and be flexible enough to adapt to situations quickly. Offering effective student services can also aid in increasing retention among students. At a glance, what makes both of these institutions similar is that they offer the same kind of services. Those services include academic advisement, internship opportunities, career services, counseling services, disability services, health services, tutoring, student organizations, housing, and residence life. The only difference that I could consider is that because Savannah has interactions with students on both the undergraduate and graduate levels, their resources may have to be adapted slightly to suit the needs of their students. But other than that, they offer the same kind of services, which I think is great and speaks to some of the characteristics that make institutions that are under the University System of Georgia uniform. Shifting to organizational and administrative structure, this refers to relationships between various departments and administrative units. Examples include exploring student affairs and academic affairs, or recruitment and admissions in a first-year experience, and observing how they interact and how some of their duties and goals may align. Bastetto believes that these structures are important because it helps students understand how complex the system of higher education can be and how everyone has to do their part to make everything run smoothly. From what I've researched, both institutions had similar organizational structures, and most departments were located in separate buildings, but they often collaborate together for events. So it's important for students to know the chain of command. So you have the president, vice president, and administrators, deans and chairs, faculty, staff, and then the students. Shifting to governance, Bastedo notes how institutions utilize governing boards to make decisions designed to progress the institution. Structures such as mission statements, budget plans, construction, and architecture designs all have to be approved by governing boards. Why? These boards invest a lot of money to support these institutions, and this gives them the power to negotiate on having the last say so. Bastedo also explains how understanding governance in higher education can also help students understand the culture of an institution. Both Savannah State and ABAC are under the governance of the University System of Georgia. According to the USG site, the USG is comprised of a 19-member constitutional board of regents that governs the university system, which has been in operation since 1932. Appointments of board members are made by the governor, subject to confirmation by the state senate. The regular term of board members is 7 years. The chairperson, the vice chairperson, and other officers of the board are elected by members of the board. The chancellor, who is not a member of the board, is the chief executive officer and the chief executive administrative officer of the university system. The overall programs and services of the university system are offered through three major components: instruction, public service and continuing education, and research. So that concludes my presentation on Savannah State and ABAC, and I hope that everyone enjoyed. And one thing that I did not mention as another fun fact are the mascots for each school. So Savannah State, their mascot is known as the Tiger, and ABAC mascot is a stallion, and his name is Thunder. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Bye.